Would you like to know how to recognize the signs of trance state? If you think that it does not apply to you, and if you believe that you cannot be hypnotized, think again. It happens every day, mostly without us even realizing it. I can bet that today you have already experienced a light trance state, perhaps even a few times. You see, when you absorbed by an interesting movie, lose yourself in a book, or simply daydreaming, or even zone out while driving, this is when you are naturally entering a light trance state. This moment, while not as deep as therapeutic hypnotic trance, still demonstrate how natural and easy for the human mind to slip into the altered state of consciousness. We are constantly influenced by external factors, advertising, politics, social conditioning, and even people that are very close and dear to you. Have you ever found yourself repeating a certain behavior without conscious effort? And you've done it so many times, it became automatic. That's hypnosis at play. While this process doesn't have to be dramatic, it can be subtle and still very pervasive. Mindless scrolling through social media. Ever noticed how time just slips away? You thought you're going to just pop in for a minute and check messages or post something. Then you just start scrolling endlessly. And here goes whole hour or even more. That's light trance. In advertising, special hypnotic linguistic patterns and triggers are used to influence your desires and choices. Hypnosis is not something mysterious. It's naturally occurring human phenomena. The real question here isn't whether you can be hypnotized, but how aware are you when it's happening, and whether you are in control of your mind or if it's someone else. And maybe you don't need to learn everything about hypnosis, but it is in your best interest to learn how to recognize the signs of hypnotic trance and how to protect yourself. When people enter a trance state, whether it's intentionally as in a therapeutic setting, like when clients come to me for hypnotherapy, or due to covert influence, covert meaning hidden, the body and mind exhibit specific signs. Some people relax into trance. I make sure that my client feels very comfortable and relaxes and has an enjoyable experience. And even when the trance induced covertly, in the situation when someone intentionally tries to influence you, in that case too, a person that's been influenced can feel more relaxed, can feel more comfortable. But there is also can be an opposite reaction, and it can happen in the therapeutic setting when a person comes for a hypnotherapy session asking for help, or if it's the case with manipulation, the person might experience tension and discomfort that will signal that the subconscious is resisting. Either way, whether you're very comfortable or very uncomfortable, you still can be influenced. Let's talk about the signs of trance state when you feel comfortable and you're relaxed. We also say it's a compliant state. You're not resisting. First, I will look at the eyes. The eyes become watery, kind of glassy. The rate of the blinking can change. The blinking will be slower and also more prolonged. The eyes may start running side to side or looking upward, like in the REM state. There will be a change in the gaze. It can become fixed, or it can turn into unfocused stare, Next, I would observe muscles, starting with the face. The facial muscles will relax, jaw may drop a little bit, reduced micro expressions. People will have less reaction to stimuli. Shoulders may drop, body will generally relax. The next, I would move my attention to the speech and to the breathing. The breathing slows down, becomes deeper. The speech also slows down, and there can be a delayed reaction. A person will need more time to reply to the questions, and the speech also can become more monotone. And when I observe at least few of the signs that I mentioned, I know that their cognitive abilities are now a bit lower. They are more open to the suggestions. They may have memory lapses, especially if I'll embed a suggestion to forget something. The critical thinking will be reduced. The person will be more agreeable. They may smile more, nod more than usual. They're much more open now to the influence. Let's recap. You may feel more relaxed, more comfortable. Your eyes may get watery. Your speech will become slower. It will take you a bit longer to form the sentences, to reply to the questions. Your feet and hands may feel a bit heavier or cotton-like, like mushy. So if you catch yourself feeling this way, immediately ask yourself, is it appropriate situation for you to feel that comfortable and relaxed? Are you in the right environment? Are you surrounded by the right people? If you're interacting with a salesman, you shouldn't feel that comfortable and relaxed. We'll talk about what to do in this case a little later. Now let's talk about the case when the person responds in the opposite way to the trance state, when there is a discomfort and tension. And you've probably experienced it many times when you just feel something's off and you immediately become more tensed. This is your internal system signaling manipulation or coercion. Again, we're going to start with the eyes and the gaze. In the first case, when person becomes relaxed, the blinking slows down and becomes prolonged. Here can be the opposite. There can be rapid, very fast blinking. You may experience tension in the eyes, or it can be unmovable stare. Remember yourself as a kid when you were scared. What happened to your eyes? They kind of become rigid. They open wider and you stare into the space. If you are observing a person in this state, you may notice that polyps change. They may dilate or they may constrict. You may also notice rapid eye movements as though the person is scanning the environment as if they're looking for an exit. Now we're moving to the face and the body. The muscles will be tensed. The jaw may feel stiff. You may also observe small unconscious movements, fidgeting, tapping something, and you may also notice that the hands gripping some objects or clenching into the fist. The next step is to observe breathing and speech. The breathing becomes more rapid, shallow. Sometimes you may notice that the person is actually withholding the breath. Again, remember yourself as a child when you were scared. It's as though you stop breathing for a few moments. The breathing pattern will become irregular. You may also observe sudden desire of clearing the throat, coughing, or the swallowing reflex. The speech may become rushed, the voice will become higher, high-pitched. That's because the throat muscles are now constricted. You may also observe exaggerated laugh or a laugh in the wrong moments. We often use the laugh to cover up our discomfort. What you may experience in this moment. You may experience mental fog, but in this case, it will be accompanied with tension, anxiety, the sense of unease. You may experience the feeling of being trapped. You may also become hyper aware of your surroundings. You may have sudden, strong emotional reactions, irritation, paranoia, defensiveness. You will have a strong desire to end the conversation and leave. I just want to leave now. I need to leave. And you may not have a clear reason. You may not have a logical explanation for what you're experiencing. You just know you want to leave now. Pay attention to how you feel in the moment. Pay attention to your body. You may experience all of the signs that I just mentioned. You may experience only a few or just one. The main sign that is something's off, that I feel different from the beginning of this interaction, the beginning of meeting. My intentions now may change all of a sudden. I had one plan for this meeting, and now I want something different. If you notice the signs, if you feel uneasy, uncomfortable, or maybe way too relaxed for this situation, the best thing to do is to remove yourself from this environment. Walk away if that's possible. Understand, just awareness alone does not guarantee 100% protection. Just like with the flu, when you see a person exhibiting all the symptoms of flu, just because you're aware and you recognize it, it does not protect you from the flu. Same here. Whatever comes in through your ears will affect you. So how do you disrupt the unwanted trance state? You need to break the pattern of what's happening right now. You need to change something. It can be a physical disruption. You change your posture, you stand up, you start walking around the room. If you're standing still, you can shift your weight from one side to another. You can move your body abruptly, stretch, clap your hands, roll your shoulders. You can rub your hands, rub your ears. You can rub your face. You can pinch yourself. You can take few rapid deep breaths. If you have a drink at the moment, take few sips. You can touch something like desk, chair, your clothing, and pay attention to the texture and temperature that will bring you back into awareness. You can also involve mental disruption. Ask an unexpected question. What did you just say? Repeat this to me, please. Hold on, why are we even talking about this right now? Or, please clarify this, I didn't understand. If the person is influencing you intentionally, they have to follow a certain pattern, create a flow. And by asking unexpected questions, you are breaking this flow. And there are a couple of very simple techniques I was taught when I was young on how to break the trance state and re-engage the sense of awareness. Counting your fingers. The trick is to actually touch the finger or move your fingers, and you can do it without drawing attention to yourself. You can count with your inner voice. You can count silently while touching your fingers in sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, or tap them on the desk, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And another technique we were taught is to list mentally everything that you see in your surroundings. White ceiling, brown wooden panels, a leather couch, cherry fireplace, big windows, a man in a suit, a cup of coffee. You can use what we call social disruptions. You can interrupt the speaker, ask questions. If you cannot come up with something, you can ask the same question over and over. Hold on, I did not understand it. Can you please repeat it? I did not hear you well. What was the last word? You can cough loudly to get an attention. You can laugh, even in inappropriate moments. You can make completely unrelated comment. Look at that, the sun came up. Or, is it cold here in the room or is just me? You can also repeat their last words. You can use questioning tone or simply repeat. Let them wonder whether you're asking a question or you're mocking them. You can also break the eye contact if this is one-on-one conversation and they lock the gaze on you. Look away. Start studying something in front of you. Don't worry about being unpolite. The goal here is to interrupt their flow. Imagine they're like a spider weaving the web around you. And every time you interrupt, move, shift something, they have to stop, and also your sudden movements will rip that web. This is what you want. I want to remind you the importance of self-awareness. Quick reminders to yourself. This is me, this is my body. I am, and you state your name. Right now I'm feeling so and so. There is nothing wrong with me. If I feel uncomfortable, there is probably a good reason. It's not because I'm crazy. My goal for this meeting is so and so. My priority right now is so and so. This quick self-awareness practice will engage your conscious mind. Stay aware. It is in your best interest.